What you want?
Mom's wondering when you're gonna make her kitchen island. Dad! Dad!
You too? Fine. Man, can't get no peace.
Good on YouTube or day, whatever it is. So I guess we're gonna make her a kitchen island. So first thing we're going to the hardwood store. We're gonna paint this thing. So I grabbed some poplar, some sheet goods, put it on the old table there, and put it on through SketchUp, which is a piece of paper for me. I tried using SketchUp once, built that outside table, the one I'm working on right now, actually. It's alright, it's just it takes too much to get used to. I haven't learned it all, so I just throw it on pen and paper. So here I'm cutting down the sheet goods for the base of this thing. Just I don't have a track saw or anything, so I'm just using a skill saw on a straight edge, so making it work. Here we are cleaning up the edges. I don't trust these sheet goods being square, so I just ripped them down. Now I'm cutting the edges, making them square. And because I only have a few pieces, because it's not going to be that big, I'm just measuring and cutting. Not worrying about a stop block or anything. So just measure, and then I'll mark down what piece it is. That way I know when I'm assembling it, it'll go quick. So mark it, cut it, and repeat. Here we are, just mark down what it is and throw your pencil goober. There we go. So once we get these pieces cut up, then we're going to run them through the table saw. That way they're all the same width, and it'll be nice and flat whenever we're done with it. So here we are. Speaking of, so find which side I want and just run them all through, and it should just shave off a little bitty bit, so I don't want to overwork it. So I'll just run them all through. Like I said, we're going to paint this thing. She's wanting it painted. She's been on me for a while about building this, so we're going to go ahead and get it done for her. Make the wife happy so I can be happy. So once we're done with these, come on now, hurry up. There we go, shutting the saw off, bringing our pieces over, and now we're pulling out every woodworker's favorite tool, the crack jig. That's right. Learned a little lesson here. The impact driver, it don't like pocket holes. So drill some holes. It just wants to yell at you. So switching over here, putting it on the other, just put it on drill mode. And show you here with my arm in the way, show you how good this thing works now. Absolutely, look at that, like butter, man. So I'll speed it up for you here. That gets tired of watching everybody seeing the old pocket holes, but so every one of these is just going to get a pocket hole. Like I said, it's going to be on the base of this island. It's going to be covered with trim, so you're never going to see these. I'm not even going to worry about putting glue on them. We're just going to screw them together and build on top of it. So once we get all that done, make a big huge mess. Clean it up. Now let's screw them down. So here we are marking them out. Just marking. Going to use the little speed square here. That way get everything lined up. Both sides marked. And we'll start screwing this stuff down in place. So I got some MDF right there. You can see by the drill on the bottom left. And they're cut at 90 degrees. So it's a perfect little square. You can just use a straight edge here, but I have these things, so I'm using them. So the little lines that I marked, I'm going to put that on there and clamp it to it tight so it can't move. So it's going to be perfect. Put my piece up against it. Now when I drill it down, when I screw it to the other piece, it can't move on me. It can't walk away. So as long as I have the top and bottom of them there lined up, it can't move. So it can't push back, so it'll stay right on my line. So just a nice little tip for you. So once again, we'll pull out the impact. Hang on, come on now. Get control of your wood. Alright, lining the top and bottom up. There we go. Get the drill and the impact, and it just wants to yell at you again. It's kind of hard to tell how well they're seated in there. So again, after this screw, I'm putting this drill up and going back to the other one. That way at least you can feel it. You know when they're sunk in there, you don't want to strip them out. But if you seat it in there too deep, it's just going to spin, and then you're going to strip the wood out and it's going to be useless. So there we are. Now we're ready to roll. So once again, we're just going to move our little piece over. Get it lined up perfect. And clamp her down. Come on. That's it. There we go. And repeat. Zip. 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 So this is going to be a pretty stout little thing, and believe me, it was a pain in the rear to get this thing in. It's heavy. In fact, I did make a mistake later on. Whenever I built this thing, I made it 3/4 of an inch too wide. So in our kitchen, I had to rip off the door frame. That way I could get it inside and then fix all that. So here we go, got that last piece up, and now flip it over, put it on the bottom, and just repeat. So I got my lines, make sure I start on the same, put my piece on, and then just zip down through there. Get my arm out of the way. See there? Yep. Spin it around, and we should be about done. So whip this little base out pretty quick. It didn't take any time at all. And then we're fixing to move on to the poplar here. So as you can see here, got everything cut to the same width. Lay it down. It does not wobble. Don't move. Nice and solid. Check it for square. This part's not as important because the piece that you put on top, you can square it up with that anyways, but it's just nice to have it square right here. And like I said, there's no glue in this, so you can move it around if you needed. But speaking of the top for it, here we go. So once again, fancy level. Just use for a straight edge, cut it through. Go over to the table saw. That way we can cut it to the final width, and no, we can't. My table saw does not go that wide. So here we go. This is what I was talking about those sheet goods being unsquare. So this is the factory edge of it. Put my T-square on it. And I'll even draw a line for you here. You may be thinking maybe my T-square isn't square, but I checked it. And I did the 3, 4 to 5. Measured 3 inches up one side, 4 inches on the other side, and should have 5 inches in between. And as you can see, it goes from a nothing up to over 1/8 of an inch on the top piece, which isn't too terrible if you're doing construction, but we're not doing construction. So we're going to clean this up. Took the skill saw to it and still didn't quite like it, so I went ahead and took a straight cut with the router and just cleaned it up some. So here we are cutting it to the final width. And voila, set it on there, and we're going to screw this thing down. And we are going to put some glue on this because this is going to be the floor we're going to build up on. So 1 1/4 inch screw. Move all this. Fight with the glue bottle. I hate these things. I'm going to have to get one of those glue bots. Finally got it open. Spread some glue around. There we go, a little bit more, make sure it's not going anywhere. Now let's slap this thing on there. Easy, and bam, look at that glue out, that squeeze out already. Thing I hate about woodworking, getting glue on the hands, ugh, can't stand it. So countersink, and then sink a screw down, countersink, sink a screw, go all the way around this, countersink, screw, got her done. So here's going to be a little toe kick on this edge, and on that other end right there that I'm at right now, we'll have a toe kick. The other two will not. So, and then you better get used to seeing that. A whole lot of sanding. So, on the far end up there, I'm going to have some drawers, and on this other end, it's going to have a door. So I'm putting a little line on. I'm going to have a divider in there, so I'll do a dado after a while. But we're moving on to the poplar now, so we're going to cut it down roughly, a little oversized, and then we'll clean it all up and start making some frames. So there's all of our pieces, and they all got to be planed down. So here we go. Gonna take a while. And if you thought planing took a while, ugh. Sand, 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 more. How much more you got? Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Nope. Yeah, I sanded both sides of all those. So here's that little dado I was talking about. And once again, throw the level down, clamp it down. So I'm doing a 3/4 inch dado because I had that 3/4 ply. So I just got a 3/4 inch straight cut bit, going about an 1/8 inch here. Make one small, slow pass, drop it down, and we'll speed this one up. And looky there, We got a dado. Look right there, slides right in there. Beautiful. So drawer, door. The drawer will be up top, which you'll see in a little bit. So let's get to it. Yeah, plywood don't look pretty. All the grain when you paint it, you're gonna see the grain. So we're gonna take some Bondo, do some automotive work here. A little Bondo, a little hardener, squeeze it out, mix it all together. Make sure you get it nice and uniform, get that nice little pink color, the way you know everything's mixed together. And we're going to spread it out all over. I'm not going to worry about the side that the drawers are going on because you'll never see that. But spread it out, get all the excess off now so you don't have to sand it later. And moving on. I don't have a joiner if you've seen my other video. So right here we're going to make a straight edge. The hardwood place that I got this from planed it down so it's supposed to be the same thickness on both sides and have one straight edge, but again, I don't trust it. Might as well just do it yourself. So put it on my little jig, run it through here, and you know you have a straight edge right there. Pretty. Take it off. Yes. So I'm going to put them all through there, and then we'll run them through the table saw to our final widths. So run through, and then here we are. So I'm making 2-inch face frames for the doors and drawers and all that stuff. So here's cutting those up. And then for the actual frame, the carcass, it's gonna be a little bit wider, you'll see. So I'm just cleaning up the edges. And now we're sanding that Bondo off. Easier to sand now when you can get to it. And back to the old pocket holes. So yep, no reason to do fancy joining around this thing. We're just using pocket holes, and this is going to be what the legs on the corners are going to look like. It's going to be 3-inch by 3-inch. So you got 3-inch piece and then 2 1/4 piece. Glue them up right there. Just use the edge of the base. That way it stays flush and they're not going to be walking around. Screw them down. I did use glue on these. Screw them down for the glue to dry, and we can move on to other stuff. So pick it up. There we are. So, and I don't know why I did this either. I didn't have to do that, but I did, and now it's all over me. Ugh. Yeah, get a rag. There we go. Clean it off, and there we go. One leg, 3 more. So move that out of the way. Here we go. Yep, 3, 3. Hey, hey, hey. You did it. Here we are going to use a stop block. So I just took my speed square, clamped it up where I needed it. So here we are, clean up an edge, and now we're going to hit every single thing we can, trying to move it over. Bump, bump, and finally, there we go. Beautiful. And now the rest of them, we're going to do a bunch of these because these are going to be the styles, so they'll all be the same. So it'll be a little quicker here. Yep. Clean edge, bump it to it, cut. So again, pocket holes, and this is going to be face frames for the carcass. So what I'm trying to do is going to have a 1-inch reveal between the legs and the doors and all that. So you'll see all that. I'm going to have 1/2-inch overhangs on everything, which will all make sense here coming up. So just bear with me. So glue, clamp, screw, move on. Glue, clamp, screw, move on. Make sure everything's square. Make sure everything's glued in. Make sure everything's screwed in. And we're going to do this for 4 sides because that's what a box has, is 4 sides. So make sure it's square and beautiful. And now, yep, sand it all. Yay. Love sanding. Every woodworker says that, but man, it sucks. But if you don't sand, your project's going to look like crap. So here we are going to get them all put together now. So just pocket holes, clamp it on there, start screwing it in place, move your clamp, that way everything stays where it's supposed to and don't walk on you. This one here's a little bit harder because this is going to be the toe kick side, so it's just going to be dangling in the air, but we'll get her figured out. Put some glue on, put some clamps on, put some screws on. Get her screwed in, then we'll hold a leg up there so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, what it's going to look like. There it is. Beautiful. So And that piece in the middle, you'll see what's going on with that in a little bit. And if you notice the middle pieces there, you can't see it now, but on the other side, if you looked, had a dado in them also for that piece to slide in, which will be coming up. So here's the leg, just on me sanding them. Here, cutting down the edges and then cutting them to the length. And my house is not square. My house is not flat or level. So I'm not worrying about a block on this one either. I'm just going to measure them, cut them all individual because there's only 4 of them. So if you're off a 16th or so, it's not going to matter. We're going to have adjustable feet on this joker. So now let's attach it to the base. So spread a lot of glue so it don't go anywhere. Not knowing that you're building all this stuff a little too wide, that you're going to do a whole lot more work trying to get it through the door. But story for another day. Now the moment of truth is this ain't going to work. Of course it works, otherwise I won't be making a video of it, but took a little persuasion. Little jiggle here, a little bang there, give a little push, a little tug, and bam. And now to hook it to the base of it, we're just going to put some screws, countersink some screws in, get that glue off of me. But we're going to hide the screws where the legs are going so you'll never see them. And I don't have to worry about puttying them or anything. So just work my way around, get all that done. And let's see what we're going to next. There it is. So you can see I put the little piece in between where the 2 big drawers are going, right there. That's the one, drawer. Slid that piece in that I was talking about, that way the drawer guides will hook to and divide it. And for that little door and drawer there, put that little piece up. That's the one. Door, drawer. And there will be a little shelf in there also. So now we're going to hook up the legs, apply a bunch of glue, hold them in place, and we're just going to shoot them in with a 18 gauge brad nail. Like I said, there's 4 of these, so there's 2, and then 3 and 4 will be done, and we'll move on. And now to the doors and fake panels. So I'm going to start with the rails here, the end pieces. I got the little, what's it called, the panel door kit combo router bit set. You do your rails there, and then your stiles, and it'll all hook together, and then it has the bit where you can do your raised panels, but I don't like that bit. For one, it don't fit in my router table. That's a big reason. And 2, I don't like that it leaves about 1/4 of an inch on the back, and then that means your panel sticks up 1/4 of an inch from the face frame. I like everything flush. I like the back being flush and the face being flush, so I'm doing my own. But I am using these bits here for that reason right there. It's a nice look, nice and tight. So I got everything on my test pieces worked out, so here we are, just gonna zip through a whole bunch of these. And then it started raining, got real cold, so I had to move into my shed. It is a 12 by 16 foot shed, and I got junk everywhere, benches on both sides, so tight space. But got it cut down with the skill saw and straight edge. Here's the table saw. Got it hooked to the vacuum, still getting dusty. And these are going to be my panels. It's 3/4 MDF. So, and here's my test piece. Let's make sure all this is going to work. So, raise it about 1/8 of an inch. And I got 1.5 inches from, well, actually it's about 1 3/4 inches from the fence there. Because I'm looking for about 1.5 inches reveal all the way around from the panels. And it's going to sit up in there about 1/2 inch. So, or maybe 3/8. I don't know. I don't know the math on it. I can't remember. Anyways, that's what I got. So, doing that to all of them. And then this big beast. This thing was fun. It's a big one. But you know what? I got it done. So, there it is. Voila. Moved everything. Then I made this fancy little jig to go over my fence. That way I can keep all my fingers as long as possible. So, raise the blade to where it's barely touching that 1/8 inch cut I just made in it, the relief cut, and then I angled the blade. I don't know what angle, I can't remember, but I angled it and cut all the way around. That way it gives me that. And this is just a test piece to make sure it's what I like and what I wanted. lifts it up about 1/8 of an inch, so I was happy with it. So I did it to all of them. And then I took a piece of 80 grit sandpaper and with some spray adhesive, put it on this block to keep everything straight, and sanded, and sanded, and sanded. And here's how you make the back of the door flush as well as the front. I took it over with a 3/4 inch straight cut blade and moved it around, played with it to where I wanted it. That way it's going to slide in this panel. I don't know why it was so hard to get this in there. These things go in real smooth and simple, but I struggled. But we finally got it in there. And put that on to lock it in place. Do a little dry fit. And what do you know? See there, so now the front and the back, everything's flush. It's got a little bit of a reveal around there, that way if there is any wood movement, it can move in and out. And right there, it's flush. That panel is not sticking past the frame. And here we are again, fighting with this stupid thing. I'm going to get one of those glue bots and see how they work. Finally got some scissors, got it opened up. And here we go. Just putting the wood glue at the very edges where the stiles and rails are going to meet. And then I did take some liquid nails that should be coming up. There's the caulk gun right there by the cup. And just squirt it in the middle of each one of those just to hold the panel so it's not flopping around. It's not going to be contracting or moving because it's MDF. So just put a couple dabs here and there to keep it from going anywhere. Clamped it down, got everything square where I wanted it. Beautiful glue squeeze out. I know it's all glued up. Then I got these little, what am I looking for? There they are. Little blocks I cut for spacers. That way I know everything is spaced out and all the doors and panels are going to look the same and have the same reveal all the way around them. Like so. Good job. Hurry up. There we go. And move it up. See there? Should all be the same. Some of them fall out, but it don't matter because you got the other ones. And because I don't want to wait forever, I take a 1/2 inch brad nail, 18 gauge, and just clamp them where the little tongues are sticking into the grooves there so it can't come out. Wipe off the glue. And now I can unclamp this thing. It ain't going nowhere. I'm going to take this pin nail now and just toenail it into the edge of the panel so they don't move either until that liquid nail's dry. Now you can unclamp it. There we go. Pick it up. Beautiful. Flush on the front. Flush on the back. That's what I'm talking about. And of course you gotta sand them. Ugh. The sanding ain't over. There's a lot more sanding. Alright, so now those middle pieces, I'm putting this little 3-inch piece because my legs are 3 inches wide. This is a 3-inch piece to make it all match. So I'll have a 1-inch reveal, you'll see. Drop my square. I just got that put up, made sure to square, nail it in place because there's 2 of them. Went to the other side, same thing, spread glue, put it up, nail it in place. Now I'm going to flip it over and deal with this little issue. See the legs? Don't like that. Bam. Put some blocks, just built them up where they're flush. They're going to be hidden with trim, you'll never see them. And while that's going on, my drawers are going to be 11 inches deep. And I got them panels back here gluing up. While that's going on, I got an 1/8 inch piece of plywood, panel board, whatever you want to call it, and put it in here so this edge is going to be smooth. Tacked it in place, and now the first false panel going in. Got it tacked in, and here's the 1-inch reveal I was talking about. So I got 1-inch blocks, put them on both sides. That way they're even. Put some glue down, nail it in place, move on to the next one. And again, glue. Ugh. I hate caulking, I hate painting, I hate glue. Gluing's my favorite of all of them though. This panel was big, but same thing. Put it up, 1/2 inch overhang from the hole, 1-inch reveal on both sides, got my block, put it on. I'm not going to show you how I make the drawers because you can see the big drawer over there, just pocket holes, and then the 1H plywood there as a base. Slide it in, countersink, 2 screws. It ain't going nowhere. So little drawer, bam. Big drawers, same deal. Now my favorite thing to do here is spray white lacquer. If you spray this stuff, please do it outside or in a well ventilated area. It will get you higher than a kite, but it works so well. Look how easy it is to sand and leaves your surface like glass, smooth. Got my little Kreg jig for my European mounts. Drill it out, do the little countersinks while you're there, don't forget. And then these little hinges go in, no problem. Nifty little jig there, like it. And you can finally use the impact wrench for something maybe it was meant for. So a couple of dry fits. Put that on, shut the door for the first time, looky there. Make sure it's even, yep, beautiful. Beautiful. Where are we going to next? No, little drawers, okay, maybe. Nope, we're sanding. So I sprayed the whole thing. Now I'm sanding it all one final time by hand. You can see my little shelf in. And now for the feet. Like I said, my house isn't level. So, and I don't like the little levels the little adjustable feet you can get at the hardware store. They're flimsy, so I got some heavy duty stuff and just put in some bolts. So, there we go on each leg. Then got me some trim from the Home Depot, and it was 14 foot, and I didn't want to stick it out of the bed of my truck, so I tried to bend it around. Instead, I just cut it into 4 pieces with my hand. Now, here's my little jig for cutting 45s. I always use this when I'm cutting trim in 45s. It's got this miter saw designated for this, and I keep that jig on there. Finally moved it in the house. I should have showed you me tearing up the door, but I saved you from that. Here's it all trimmed out. See, you don't see all that plywood from the feet. Nice, beautiful, and bam, look at that. False mount. Whoa, you got a top on it. That's a separate video, so stay tuned. That'll be coming out soon. Slap some paint on it, and guess what? She already wants me to paint it a different color. That's right. There's the drawer. There's the door and a little shelf. And here's a nice little feature that I added. So I made these little hinges. Pull this down, we're going to put an outlet right there so we can use a blender or whatever you need. And it just snaps up in place. These drawers are huge. They're 23 inches by 18 inches and they're 11 inches deep. She wanted some big ones, so there they are. So she got her 2 big drawers. Beautiful. So we redid our bathroom. We're going to be starting on the kitchen sometime, but she wanted to start with this island to make the room more user friendly. So I did what she wanted. I'm a good guy. So she just wanted a little half shelf in there. That way on this other side she can put the big juicer or crock pots, pressure cooker, something, some big items there. So that's what we did. A little walk around. This top is epoxy. It was my first time ever doing epoxy, so stay tuned. I got a full video on that. But there's the island. Thank you all so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.